Hi, and welcome to Commercial Vehicle Pro Podcast. I'm Ardina Chaco, and today we're sitting down with Will Brogan from Commercial Truck Training, powered by One Nexus, and we'll be talking about the importance of attending trade shows for growth and development. Coming from the dealer side, I've had the pleasure of attending Work Truck Week, which was profound for me in my growth and development, as well as learning from some of the industry's greatest minds, including Ken Taylor. And the moments that stuck with me the most is the genuine conversation that comes up in the breakout sessions during the trade shows. Will, what's your experience on trade shows?
My experience too is mostly centered around the NTEA Work Truck Week or Work Truck Show. And if anybody's watching this or hearing this for the first time and you haven't been, find a way to go for a whole bunch of reasons that I'm sure Ardina and I will get into just kind of organically in the conversation. My best way to describe the value of a trade show actually could kind of be summarized in I've gotten the opportunity to go to Indianapolis for the Work Truck Show 3 times now, 2018, 2020, and then this past year, 2024. And the 2021, as you can imagine, was a majorly standout landmark event for anybody that was there. It started off with a lot of industry stuff that is almost becoming normal these days, a lot of conversations about EVs and various automations, and there was a lot of enthusiasm, excitement, lots of handshaking, all that typical stuff that you see with a trade show. And then as fate would have it, I went in to actually do a meeting with somebody on this thing that I didn't know what it was, called Zoom, and came back out, and the entire place, and if you've been to that show in Indianapolis, you know how big it is, the entire place, the mood had entirely changed. And in the course of that hour of those meetings, everything for the next week was starting to get canceled because everybody was scared of COVID. And at the time, there wasn't really anything that was too scary at the moment. And then it kind of all started that day and then shifted into the next week. And I share that because coming back in 2024, or as you had talked about before we started in 2022, being a part of the energy of that again and being free to shake hands and give hugs where appropriate and have those close conversations that are next to a vehicle and all of those things, it really ratcheted up the value of the in-person interaction that is trade shows just by their nature. But having those two experiences between what happened kind of leading into COVID and then coming back this past year, my goodness, if you went through that kind of the same way that I did, you would absolutely see, hey, anytime you can get an opportunity to meet with people in person, do it. It is such a significant difference. And trade shows, the great part of it, whether it's the NTEA or NAD or anything else or anything that you're doing as part of your efforts, that in-person interaction is so valuable, and you can meet so many different people all within a very short span of time and really only move your feet.
Right. I'd agree. And a lot of the times I found that when I came back from a trade show, I had this reinvigoration of drive and energy and purpose, because I exchanged, knowledge, and I exchanged with people who are also really involved and thrilled with what they do every day and why they choose to do it. So I think it's a wonderful place to get back to your whys, why you show up every day and do what you do, as well as continue on with learning and developing to get better. Like I said, I had the pleasure of watching Ken speak in one of the breakout rooms, and that stuck with me. And whenever I knew that I needed a little bit more throughout my year, I would go back to somebody I watched and go back to their website or their social media and see what they were doing to kind of spark the ideas within me. And you really do make lasting relationships with people that you meet at the trade shows. And I think that is like in the Commercial Business Vehicle Summit, the last thing was reciprocity. You know, it's connecting with people and learning and growing together is really what I feel is shaping our industry.
Yeah. And there's that added component too that I think is a key selling point for trade shows in general. And again, Work Truck Week is keeping up with the innovation, the industry norms, and more importantly, seeing those things. And in some cases, touching them too, if it's a certain type of an upfit or whatever. And then seeing the people that are behind those. Or at least the people that you should have a relationship with in relation to learning more about those, or eventually say getting a vehicle of a certain type on your lot, things of that nature. You can build that. I think that handshake itself is so important in enhancing the relationship, and there's really no better place to do it, or at least no more efficient place to do it than a trade show.
Right, it's all in one spot, and oftentimes you will be taking videos and pictures, and I actually pulled up a lot of what I saw at the trade shows and showed them to my clients when they maybe didn't know what type of upfit existed or the development of an upfit. I can show them, you know, the latest and greatest that I saw, and they would incorporate that into their builds.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, this technology is coming, or you could be able to apply this to your business probably in the next 2 years. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a wonderful way to spend your time. It's only added value to what you already bring to the table, I think. And I mean, there's no better way than by experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to acknowledge too the learning component of any type of show. If you have breakout sessions where people are focused, as you mentioned, that you learn from my mentor and partner Ken Taylor, don't be afraid to take advantage of those, because somebody may bring if nothing else, a perspective that can help you look at something in a different way. It's probably going to be helpful. Invest in any of those kind of breakout sessions if it's reasonable for you. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, of course, but if you have an opportunity to learn from an expert here or there, get involved with one or two of those for sure.
Yeah. And for me, I was able to meet other dealers that we networked with, and it's a big part of commercial, especially on the dealer side, is you have to seek out the knowledge, you have to seek out the conversation. So by networking with people who are like-minded, you guys can carry on that conversation and develop your skills that way.
Yeah, and there's a friendship component too, where you know if somebody's going to be, say, at Work Truck Week or whatever, you can plan for that. Although in that particular case, I would get down to the exact minute and exactly location where you're going to do that, because that one can be quite challenging. In fact, thinking back this past year, one of my very good friends in the industry, we got to say hello. We were all there 3 full days, got to say hello walking by, and never got to connect otherwise because it was just so busy. So don't be afraid to set appointments at any given trade show as well.
Right. There's a lot of land to cover and a lot to see. So bring good walking shoes.
Yes.
Well, thank you for the time. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. And if you're wanting to read more, we'll have Will's article linked down in the show notes. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you.